life's a mystery, and peace is what I need. I got Jesus, I got Jesus. Everybody, everywhere, come on, let me hear you sing. Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life. Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life. When things have got me down and no one is around, I got Jesus, I got Jesus. When life's a mystery and peace is what I need, I got Jesus, I got Jesus. Everybody, everywhere, come on, let me hear you sing. Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life. Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life. Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life. Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life.
Here we go. If you got Jesus in your heart, come on, let me hear you say whoa. Got Jesus in your life, come on, let me hear you say what? Oh. Got Jesus in your school, come on, let me hear you say what? Oh, oh. Got Jesus in your heart, come on, let me hear you scream. Got Jesus in your heart, come on, let me hear you say whoa. Got Jesus in your life, come on, let me hear you say what? Oh. Got Jesus in your school, come on, let me hear you say what? Oh, oh. Got Jesus in your heart, come on, let me hear you scream.
Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life. Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life. Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life. Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life.
Got Jesus in your heart, come on, let me hear you say whoa. Got Jesus in your life, come on, let me hear you say what? Oh. Got Jesus in your school, come on, let me hear you say what? Oh, oh. Got Jesus in your heart, come on, let me hear you scream.
Higher than the sky, your love is deeper than the sea. Your grace is washing over me and calling me your own, your own. Your light is burning through the shadows. I see the truth, there is nothing to fear. Your word, your way, your promise everlasting. Over and over, I see your hand. Higher than the sky, your love is deeper than the sea. Your grace is washing over me and calling me your own, your own. Your name, a tower in the
Ethiopia, a miracle of life. Asefa and Tadefa prayed and prayed for months that God would open doors for them among the Muslim people in a little village in Ethiopia. For a long time, the door seemed to be shut. But then one day they heard the sound of crying. They looked out the window and saw a crowd heading to the graveyard, weeping as they went. A man in front held a little girl in his arms, covered with a sheet. Asefa and Tadefa knew the little girl. Her name was Khadija. Asefa said to Tadefa, "This is God's moment of opportunity. Let's rush into the funeral and pray that Jesus will raise Khadija from the dead." Tadefa said, "You're crazy. What if Jesus doesn't raise her? They'd kill us." But before he could stop him, Asefa ran into the funeral. Tadefa ran into the bushes. He covered himself with leaves, dirt, and branches to hide himself. He called out to Jesus to do something to help them. Asefa made his way through the crowd until he was walking side by side with the father who was carrying the dead girl. Asefa held out his arms, and the father allowed him to carry the girl. After a short time, Asefa stopped and began to pray that Jesus would raise Khadija from the dead. The people became very angry. They lunged at Asefa. But at that moment, a little arm came out from underneath the sheet, then fell back again. The people were stunned, but after a moment they grew angry again and again lunged at Asefa. Then Khadija sat straight up. The sheet fell off of her face. She looked at her father and cried, "Father!" And at that moment, all 214 Muslims at that funeral dropped to their knees and confessed Jesus Christ as Lord. A few months later, all 214 Muslims, plus Khadija herself, came to the Pentecostal church to be baptized in water. But that day there were 216 people in the crowd. Another man, Alimayehu, who was a Muslim witch, had come to curse the new believers and to cause them to stumble in their faith. As he heard the gospel preached, and as he heard all 215 testimonies of salvation, his hard heart began to soften. And at the end of the preaching, at the altar call, Alimayehu ran to the front to receive Jesus. Before the day ended, 216 Muslims had been baptized and openly confessed Jesus as Lord and Savior. Here is an actual photo of some of the people involved in the story. The men are standing in front of a church structure that was built after Khadija's resurrection.
Elena Shipley, and I'm a missionary kid to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I know in America you're supposed to be 16 before you can drive, and I'm only 13, but I like to practice driving so that when I go to college in America, I'm ready to rock.
That was Elena. She's from Ethiopia. Now, where in the world is Ethiopia? Here it is, in Africa. In Ethiopia, they are mostly Islam and some are Christian Orthodox. Ethiopia has a long Christian history. It's even mentioned in the Bible. The freedoms of the Ethiopians were taken away 30 years ago when communism took over. Churches were forced to close and Christians had to hide their love for Jesus. 17 years later, the communists left. When Christians could talk about Jesus again, we found out the people never stopped getting saved. Excitement and love for Jesus has continued to grow in this country. What else is in Ethiopia? Let's check it out.
Come on, let's go for a ride. All the cars in America are automatic, but here in Africa you have to do everything by hand. This little piggy is the brakes, this little piggy does something to the motor, and this little piggy is the gas, and this little piggy changes the gears. Make sure you guys have your seatbelt fastened. Now it's time to go to the market. Ethiopia Ethiopia has lots of outdoor markets, which are really cool to go to, because instead of going into a crowded store or something, then you can just walk in the streets and see lots of interesting people and learn their language and learn the ways of them. And you can also see the things that they make by hand and all the spices you can buy. This is a very typical Ethiopian outdoor market. You can buy pretty much anything you want, from fruits and vegetables to clothes and shoes and anything you'd ever want, except ice cream.
Time for lunch, yes, a la carte or brunch.
Hey guys, I don't know about you guys, but I'm starving. And here we have a traditional Ethiopian meal. We have spinach and chicken and eggs and lamb. And this is one of my favorite places to go in Addis. In Ethiopia, you never use silverware. Instead, you use the sourdough-looking pancake stuff, and you rip it off like this. And then you take what you want, and then eat it. This is so good. In Ethiopia, one way to honor someone is to feed them, and I'm gonna feed you a hard-boiled egg. Now I wanna take you to my neighborhood where I live and show you some of my friends. My parents' ministry is that my dad teaches at a Bible college called ABC, Addis Ababa Bible College, and my mom is a receptionist there. My ministry is that I go into my neighborhood and I tell people about God and I help with their children. Most of the people that live around here are really poor and they work really hard, and sometimes they need help with their children because they have to work, but they also have children to take care of, so I help them with taking care of their children. Shh, this is baby Elena, she's sleeping. A couple hours after this baby was born, I came over to the house and helped. The mother didn't know what to name her, so I named her Elena. A couple years ago, there was a lot of fighting, and a lot of moms and dads got killed, and so in Ethiopia, there's a lot of orphans. That's why you see a lot of kids running around.
The people in Ethiopia have great Pentecostal churches to help them, like this one. Thousands of people get together for church services so they can worship the Lord. Many even sit outside in the back, just so they can be part of praising Jesus. A lot of men, women, and children are saved during these services. Then they begin praying for their friends and family.
Church in Africa is kind of different than in the States. Here, the churches are really big and they like to sing really loud and a lot. And they dance up and down and sideways and all around. It's really crazy and everyone's just really crowded. Thanks for hanging out with me today in Addis Ababa. I know I'm a crazy driver, but hey, I'm only 13, so you guys better watch out for me when I get to the States.